There's no place like home, except home has a lot of drama. The first story is extremely torn on whether I should get my roommate's mom kicked out. Is mom also a roommate? This story came August 23rd, 2025. Me and 3 other girls live in an on-campus apartment-style dorm. We all have our own bedrooms and there are 2 bathrooms. One of the main characters in question, let's call her Eve, I share a kitchen and living space with her, is one of my roommates and is also international. All of my roommates had a group chat over the summer where we barely texted, but we used the group chat as a means to communicate just in case. I just want to throw that out there. Last Saturday, I moved in and I opened the dorm door for the first time. I noticed Eve and her mom cooking in the dorm kitchen. I introduced myself and continued to get the rest of my stuff from the car and proceeded with the move-in process. I noticed that Eve's mom is wearing PJ bottoms. I don't give it much thought as people now sport PJs like they're the new jeans. I do not have a meal plan and I want to avoid spending money on fast food. So during the move-in, I brought in a decent amount of groceries to cook food for whenever I'm hungry. One other roommate, not Eve, also moved in and she only took up 1 cabinet. I opened the other cabinets and noticed that nearly every one is filled with Eve's stuff. Her mom sees that I clearly look annoyed and so she decides to shift some of her daughter's stuff into other cabinets. The fridge is also jam-packed with Eve's food. Surely she could not have a meal plan, so out of curiosity I ask. To my surprise, she indeed does have a meal plan and she says that she lives in the dining hall. When I go to open up the pantry closet, it is filled with Eve's messenger bags and shoes. Yes, shoes. After I moved my suitcases in and put my food away in whatever nooks I could find, I went to sleep as I was tired because I had been up very early that day doing last-minute shopping and packing. I wake up the next day, Sunday, and I see that Eve's mom is making a cup of tea in the kitchen. I'm a bit confused as to why she hadn't gone to her own hotel or flown back to her home country. I thought she would have been gone by Sunday as classes start on Monday. But fast forward to today, an entire week later, Eve's mom is fully living with us. She eats, cooks, showers, and sleeps there. Whenever I come back from class to make myself something to eat, she emerges from their room to ask if she can cook my food for me. Eve didn't think it was important to tell us. She did not say a word regarding her mom living with us in the dorm. Here's why I am conflicted. Eve's mom is very nice. She cleans, she even washes my plates sometimes, she offers us the food she cooks, and, as mentioned, is an overall nice person. However, there are little micro annoyances like her constantly cooking for hours. I'm talking like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., hogging up the fridge space. In fact, she just did another shopping spree and my food is buried in the back. She doesn't allow me to cook alone, and most of all, not verifying with her daughter that we were all okay for her to stay. Furthermore, why I'm torn on asking her to leave is because I remember her telling me how expensive groceries are for her, so that makes me wonder, what if she can't afford a hotel room? If I told an RA, then she would be on the streets because of me. Having a parent stay in a dorm is not allowed. My roommate is fine with the mom stay, so I don't want to be the only one complaining. If I told an RA, she would be gone ASAP. However, there would be tension in the air. I'm conflicted and I don't know what to do. Oh, that's tricky. But also, do you really want a parent living with you in your college years? Not that I'm saying everyone wants to like go out and party and have a good time, but like some people do. I feel like me going off for college and living in a dorm, having someone's mom there is the last thing I would want, personally. I moved out at 17 on my own, so I lived in my own apartment when I was in university in my hometown, so maybe that's a biased opinion. We have an update 4 months later, so we're now, you updated on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2025. Merry Christmas. I thought it would be fine until it wasn't. Each day I realized more and more how little respect and thought the mom and daughter had for me and my 2 other roommates. Some of the things that really pushed me into making the decision I did was 1, the brother situation. I am unsure if I mentioned this in the OG post, but they also have a brother/son who goes to college in the States. The same state, but it's in a city roughly an hour and 30 minutes away. They would bring him over unannounced, but when he was over, you knew he was because of his loud, deep voice. One Sunday at 9 a.m., I was awakened out of my sleep by the sound of his loud voice walking through the door. This was extremely frustrating to me because on the weekends, I like to sleep for a very long time because I have 8 a.m. classes all throughout the week. This was one of those moments. I was like, yeah, no. You first of all, do not say anything or text anybody that this man is going to be coming and can basically pop up at any time, which is personally extremely uncomfortable for me. The next was the fridge situation. The mom had a major shopping issue. I think this was rooted in the fact that she had to be bored staying in this dorm all day. She continued to go on these massive grocery shopping sprees and would fill the fridge up to a point where you had to manually push the fridge door to close. There was literally no place for my roommates and I to put our food, to a point where one of my other roommates bought a personal mini fridge. That's insane. This was another strike. I don't want to go into all the things she did because that would be me ranting, but I'll briefly mention two more. The mom prohibited me from making a quick lunch in my 2-hour gap by hogging up the kitchen to make her grand meals. Guys, I would already be losing my mind. Losing it. Like, imagine wanting to make yourself something quick to eat, but you can't because all 4 stove burners are being used. This was a big no. Then leaving the door open for the mom to get in and out also made me feel unsafe, so that was another realization. Big no. All of these factors and others, in addition to the combination of reading these Reddit comments, I realized I do not have to deal with any of this. As much as I tried to tell myself it's okay, if I find myself complaining, then it's truly not okay. I did not feel the need to talk to my roommate about her mom because it couldn't be more obvious that the mom was fully planning on staying the entire semester. Plus, why should I have to do this when there's literally someone who gets paid to handle the situation? So what I did was this. I emailed and privately messaged the RA of all that was happening. She then thanked me for letting her know, and then she forwarded the message to her supervisor. I did it this weekend, hoping that when I came back, the smoke cleared. Unfortunately, when I came back, the mom was still there. However, the next day, when I quickly went into the kitchen to grab something, I saw suitcases packed. The mom was leaving. Fast forward to December, Eve clearly has a chip on her shoulder towards me and the other roommates. Me and one of the other roommates have gotten to talk more since I wrote this, and she let me know that the RA told her that we all would have gotten in trouble because we were all breaking the rules by letting the mom stay, so luckily I said something. Unbeknownst to me, she was also deeply uncomfortable with sharing a bathroom with the mom, and that Eve never told her anything prior besides move-in day. Eve was like, oh, by the way, my mom is here. And that Eve was actually planning on allowing her brother to sleep on the couch to have near daily sleepovers. She was going to do that, of course, without anyone's permission. Well, thank God you said something. You lasted a lot longer than I would have personally. Whew, could you guys live through that? Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents that either I move out or they do something about my brother? This story came October 27th, 2023. I, 25 male, live with my parents in a very expensive city. We stay in a 3-bedroom high-rise. My mom recently decided she wanted to move to this city because she was tired of living in the country. I agreed to move with them because this city had many software engineering jobs. I was able to get a higher paying job and I make 6 figures. My mom and dad are school teachers and their combined income is just under what I make. My brother, James, and his wife, Mary, had originally stayed in our old state, but once she found out she was pregnant, my mom and dad invited them to move into our house. I work from home sometimes and I pay 75% of the bills and mortgage, so the spare bedroom was my office. My first thought is like, why you make 6-figure? Why don't we live on our own? Like, we don't want to? Sometimes it's a cultural thing where they support family and they live with family. So it might be getting to that, but I'm just like, sounds like I would want my own apartment. My brother and his wife showed up at my house, which I didn't know about, and demanded my room. My room has a walk-in closet and a bathroom. I told them to take the office because it has an air mattress for guests. My parents told me to let them have my room. I reminded them how I pay most of the bills and I will move out if they have my room. My mom yelled at me and told me I was a jerk, but my dad just told them to go to the spare room. I went into the office the next day but forgot my laptop. So during lunch I came home and I found my sister-in-law taking my stuff out of my room. Everyone else had left for work. I yelled at her and I asked what the hell was she doing? She screamed back that my mom said to do this. I grabbed all her stuff that she moved, which wasn't a lot, and I threw it on the floor. And I told her that I will kick her and my brother out with her stuff when I get back home from work. My brother and mom blew up my phone when I was at work. My dad started a group chat and said that there will be a family meeting when everyone gets home. I stopped at the store to grab a knob with a lock for my door. My parents, sister-in-law, and brother were all sitting on the couch when I got home. My brother tried to get in my face, but I'm taller and bigger than he is, so I just put my hand on his face and I shoved him out of the way. I knew this infuriated him because he's older than me. My dad told me that I should just let them have the room. My sister-in-law smiled at me. I told them I pay most of the bills and they are living under my room because my name is on the mortgage, and if they want the bigger room, they can either pay me rent or the four of them can move out. I did not see that perspective for a second. I forgot your name's on the mortgage. It's your house. My dad tried to bargain with me, but I told him that I'm not talking about this anymore, and if I hear about it again, I will have everyone evicted. My sister-in-law started crying and I went to my room. My dad is treating me okay, but everyone else is giving me the silent treatment. I thought everything was okay, but the next night I came home for dinner. My mom made everyone a plate but me. She said until I give up my room and I be a good son, she will not cook me dinner. My dad agreed with her. I pay for everyone's groceries. I went into my room and I printed eviction notices for my mom and dad. My brother and sister-in-law hadn't been there long enough to be considered squatters. I told my brother and sister-in-law they had an hour to pack everything and get out or I'll call the police. I told my parents they have 30 days or I'll take legal action. All of our extended family stay in a different state and they don't have the money to support 4 people in this city. My mom begged and tried giving me her plate, but I said it wasn't about the food. My parents put my brother and sister-in-law in a hotel room for the night, and my mom tried to apologize, but I ignored her and I went to my room. I'm writing this right now to see what I should do because I'm honestly confused. Am I the a-hole? I don't think you're being the a-hole in the sense of wanting the room. By all means, you're paying for everything, or mostly anyway, and your name's on the mortgage. Take the bigger room. It can be resolved, no? Evicting your parents? I don't know. I'm not calling you. I don't think what they're doing is right by any means. I'm just wondering if maybe this can be resolved without an eviction notice. I'm holding some optimism here that this can be worked out with some communicating, some compromising, and maybe brother and sister-in-law just take the free room and they take the office and be grateful. Luckily we have updates, but the updates were all on the same post, so I don't know what days they were. I went to work and my parents had left before me, which was unusual, but my mom had texted me throughout the day with apologies. I saw a post that said my mom might be narcissistic, but this is the first time she's acted like this, so I was honestly hurt when it happened. But when I came home from work, my brother, sister-in-law, and parents were sitting on the couch. My dad said they were sorry for the way they acted and thought because I'm usually the voice of reason that I was going to back down. My brother said the request seems small, and because I have a perfect life, giving up one thing to accommodate him and his time of need is what family does. Side note, my brother has no debt. My father is a veteran, so we were able to get free education somehow. But because my brother changed his major 5 times, he had to pay for 3 years of extra coursework that wasn't covered. My parents took on that burden and are still in debt because of it. They also didn't sell or rent out the old house because my brother convinced them that he would like to start a family there someday. So they have some debt because of it, but my brother is not in need of anything. My brother also told me that because it's our parents' condo, they should have a final say. I explained to him that it's my condo and my name is on the mortgage, so they actually get no say in what goes around here. He was confused. He said I possibly couldn't afford this place on my salary. He said a person making $50,000 a year could not live this lifestyle. I explained to him that I make 3 times that much, and our parents can't afford to live here without me because of the mortgage back home and his student debt. Okay, so brother wasn't quite aware of this whole situation then. James said that dad took care of the student loans and that the old house was already paid off. I looked at my parents wondering why they lied to him. I explained that they're in a ton of debt because of him, and they refused to sell the house because of what he said. James asked our parents why they didn't tell him any of this. My mom bursted out into tears, telling James they knew he was jealous of me since I was in high school. My mom knew that me playing varsity football my freshman year of high school when he rode the bench as a senior is what started his dislike, and me playing college level at a Big Ten school didn't help. We also graduated the same year, so James told my mom it wasn't fair that I got to do all those things. My mom and dad began babying him in order to compensate for this so he wouldn't hate me and the family could continue to be around each other without animosity. My brain just shut off for a second. It glitched. James just walked out the door without speaking another word. My sister-in-law apologized and said she didn't know it was my house. I asked her why would that change anything. She ignored my question and went to the guest room. My dad tried to explain that they felt like they failed my brother. I asked, was it just because of the football thing? He said it was because James wasn't given the same opportunities as me. I explained how James skipped school to drink and smoke and joined a gang. I asked, do you think we should have gotten the same opportunities? My dad said it was hard to explain. I told him what's easy to explain is the eviction notice, and he now has 30 days. So I left my friend's house, and that's where I'm at now. Oh, but maybe this can be resolved. I don't know why I'm so optimistic about this, but okay, that explains why brother and sister-in-law maybe felt entitled because they're like, this is our parents' house. Like, who are you, brother, to be saying I can't? Maybe I need to stop being optimistic. What do you guys think about this? How are we feeling? There's another update. My brother invited me out to have some drinks. I was hesitant to go at first, but I realized that it wouldn't hurt. When I saw him, he looked horrible and I hated seeing him like that. The first thing he told me was sorry, and it did seem genuine. He then told me he was never jealous of me and was proud of all of my accomplishments. He then dropped a huge bomb. During his senior year of high school, he had come home early and found Mom was home, and so was our uncle's car. At the front door, he heard moans. Wait, your uncle? Oh, must be on your dad's side. I panicked. I thought you meant her brother. At the front door, he heard moans and decided to peek through the window and saw our mom and uncle on the couch cheating on both of their spouses. He took a video as evidence ready to show dad, but he didn't want to break up our family. Instead of talking to anyone and getting help, he got into substances to help him cope. But he explained that one day mom yelled at him while he was drunk in the middle of the day, so he just showed her the video. He explained how her face got pale and she broke down crying. She promised she had broken it off when our aunt had gotten pregnant a few months after the incident had occurred. She pleaded with him not to tell dad. He said he wasn't, but that she better do everything to make it up to dad. Mom started the jealous thing to hide her affair, even though she knew she was the reasons for his substance and alcohol. He hadn't realized that she's been overcompensating, afraid that he was going to tell Dad. After therapy and rehab, he had been concentrating on himself and failed to see how I was being treated. He also thought it was unfair that I didn't have to live with that heavy burden and thought Mom always babied me. So when I wouldn't give up the room, he thought it was Mom playing favorites. He almost broke down crying, saying how sorry he was and that he'll leave. I told him it wasn't necessary. As long as he and sister-in-law help out, he is welcome to stay as long as he wants. I asked if he was ever going to tell Dad. He said he wasn't, but would hold no resentment towards me if I did tell. So now I'm conflicted with that. But other than that, everything seems normal. Oh my God. I would almost not want to know, because now you're like, okay, but now I have to carry that and not tell Dad, or tell Dad. I'm stressed. I'm sweating a little bit, to be honest. I have no reason to be. This is not my business. We have the final update. Oh! I told my dad. He surprisingly took it well. I did it in private. He admitted that his brother told him that one time when he was drunk, but he thought that he was just trying to upset him. I know everybody was saying that my mom was a narcissist, but she never displayed these behaviors. She was a woman loved by everyone. He never suspected a thing. He was hurt though. He explained that he's been married for 30 years and would like for things to stay the same. I always thought Dad was kind of a pushover, so I highly doubt that he's going to even confront her. I think he's comfortable with the way it is, but my brother and sister-in-law have paid me for bills and rent, so we're okay. My mom has apologized and it seems genuine. She became the outgoing nice woman again, so my house has peace. I think this is going to be how it is from now on. I hope my dad is okay though. That seems like a whole lot, and a whole lot to become toxic at any moment in time within that household. Before we get to the next story, you know what time it is. We're hydrating because we need it. We need water. Cheers. But you can drink whatever the hell you want, to be honest, so let me know what's in your cup. Wearing the two-tone sweater that I thrifted. If you know, you know. And if you don't, it's because I have a second channel. Surprise! Yes, at Life with Joss. It's recent, it's new, doing all the things over there. So go follow. It's linked in every video description if you want to see. But if you already saw, look at it. Ooh, worn it for the first time. I like it. The back is gray. You can't see, but Next story. Am I the a-hole for giving my sister and her daughters a week to move out? Gosh, there's a lot of family living with family. They do say that that is risky. My sister went through a bad divorce. She lost her apartment and recently her job. She's 3 daughters, all under 15. She has taken care of them since their dad left town after the divorce. She kept jumping from house to house. She stayed with my mom for 2 months, then moved out. Moved in with my uncle, then moved out. Then my brother in the city, but only stayed with him for a few days before moving out. She asked to move in with me and I agreed, although I was a bit hesitant since I've got a lot on my plate. My husband is sick and was discharged from the hospital recently. She said since I don't have kids, which is a bit insensitive of her to say given my infertility issues, that everything will be fine. She moved in and it was horrible. The girls started making an endless mess. They would mess with my dog, break stuff, stay up late at night, and worst of all, my sister would have my husband watch the girls while I'm at work and while she goes to the salon, not to work there, but to get herself ready for job interviews, which she never attends, then says they didn't hire her. I wanted to be patient and graceful and help find solutions to the girls' misbehavior, like hiding important stuff, my husband's meds, and my makeup, but it all came to a head a few days ago. Since my husband is sick, he can't cook by himself. Before I leave for work, I prepare breakfast and I leave it for him in the fridge. It's a healthy breakfast needed for medication. Also, if I'm working overtime, I would prepare lunch for him the night before. While at work, I got a text from my husband telling me he couldn't find anything to eat. He was asking about yogurt, anything to take with his meds. I told him there was an entire breakfast that I left for him in the fridge. He said it wasn't there when he woke up. I was confused, but only momentarily, as I realized the girls had eaten it. I was very upset. I called my sister and she kept hanging up on me. Then sent a text saying she was in the middle of a job interview. So not only had she left the girls with my husband, knowing he couldn't watch them, she let them eat his breakfast. I texted her about it and said it was not a big deal and that she was in a hurry for her job interview and didn't make them breakfast. I went off on her saying she was out of line and had made mine and my husband's life a living nightmare. She did not respond. It was a terrible day. I bought groceries and I cooked again. I waited for her before talking to the girls because she lied, saying the dog ate the food. She returned at 7 p.m., way late. I confronted her and she downplayed it, saying it was fine, the girls didn't know, and it was emergency, etc. She even tried to apologize to my husband, but I told her she needed to move out and that she had 1 week. She looked at me stunned and started arguing about how she couldn't afford a rental. I told her she could with her new job. What she said next left me speechless. She said the interview didn't work out. Why? Because her interviewer happened to be her ex's friend. The coincidence. She said she made a scene and walked out. I told her it was wild of her to expect me to believe that story. She started crying and tried to show me proof, but she didn't even open her phone. I said it was the final straw and I went to my room. My husband said he didn't want me and my sister to fight because of him. I assured him it wasn't just that. I was surprised when she kept sending the girls one by one to knock on my door and beg me. I felt so horrible now that I'm starting to reconsider my decision. Am I the a-hole here? Ugh. Even if she deserves it, I feel like you're going to feel like an a-hole because it's your sister and she has 3 kids. But your frustrations are completely valid. Maybe not a week, maybe even by saying, I'll give you, like, first of all, here's the ground rules, and if it happens again, you're out. Don't touch the food, like whatever the boundaries and rules you want to put in place, but maybe even I'll give you 30 days to take this seriously, to get a job, to help out around here, to respect my home, like all those things, and see, you know, like maybe give it more than a week. I don't know. That's so difficult because you have every right to be frustrated and to not want them there, but I get you're gonna feel like horrible in your heart because you're a good person and a good sister. What are your thoughts? I want your thoughts on all these stories because they were juicy. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.